All Indiana Politics is your premier source for Indiana politics, focusing on issues that matter to you.
I still want us to be the best in the Midwest.
We can't afford another lockdown.
Give the citizens of this country the relief they need.
Education in the state of Indiana remains priority number one.
In-depth, nonpartisan coverage.
We don't know exactly where the economy will be in January.
People are worried with good reason.
Exclusive interviews with Indiana's political leaders.
We have the resources here in the state of Indiana to care for those who are in need.
Expert analysis on critical legislation.
We need to reform those laws.
This recovery is going to take some time.
We've got to anticipate that there'll be a budget shortfall.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Sunday morning, welcome to another edition of All Indiana Politics. I'm Phil Sanchez. It's been a busy first 6 months in office for Carmel Mayor Sue Finkam. She says she's already gotten a lot of engagement on housing, community surveys, and even from the children of Carmel. She sat down with our government reporter, Garrett Bergquist, to talk about her plans so far and also moving forward.
With us now is Mayor Sue Finkam. Mayor, thanks for letting us come by today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
How have these first 6 months in office gone?
Great. It's been exciting. It's been fun, educational. I campaigned on a plan, so even before we got in office day one, we were working the plan.
So back in February, you launched a citywide housing task force. Their draft report is due at the end of July. What for you have been the biggest takeaways so far, both from their meetings and from any other work that you've done in the meantime on housing?
So when we were going door to door during the campaign, there was so much commentary and questions about housing. We felt it was important we get more data around the issue and also educate ourselves and our community members. I think what's been most surprising in that process is truly what a national problem this is. It is in every newspaper, in every news story, all over online, from city to city. And so I think, one, I'm really proud that we're taking the lead on having these conversations in our community. And two, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg moving forward. This has to be a conversation that continues in our community. Clearly, trends in the fact that we haven't been building enough housing stock over the years for rent or for sale is coming to fruition here as well. We also have a highly desirable community, and people will love it and don't want to leave. And especially with the higher interest rates, we just have a supply problem as well. So that's driving up prices too. I'm looking forward to working with our team on this report. But we're going to add just a little bit of time to the process to make sure we have our community, allow time for our community to weigh in.
What sort of response have you been getting from the community survey you launched this spring?
We are super excited about the response we got from the community survey. We had almost 7,200 people respond to it, 3 times more than we would hoped to get. So super appreciative for anyone who weighed in and gave us their 2 cents there. We have since released the results of the survey, and I think people are just really proud to live here, really proud to see that other residents feel the same way. Some of the key statistics that came out of the survey results are 97% of people feel Carmel offers a high quality of life. I think that's incredible. Also, 66% of people moved here because it was a safe community. 72% of people stay here because it's a safe community. That's our number one thing driving our high quality of life here is public safety. And I also shared with our staff, because we did all team meetings where all 700 people got together. And I said, this public safety statistic isn't just police and fire. It's the fact that our CRC has taken blighted pieces of land and built beautiful buildings. It's our street department, with the flower baskets and the public art that they maintain. It's our engineering department that's developed complete streets. All of that and more goes into the safety statistic, and every single member of the city of Carmel should be proud of that.
Tell me about the role that survey is going to play in public policy decision making.
Great. We're going to use that survey for lots and lots of things over the next few years. But first and foremost, it's going to a branding company that we have engaged to help us rebrand the city of Carmel. They're using that to understand, baseline measurements like public safety and quality of life that we've already mentioned. We're also using it for each department. Each department can get questions about what people feel about their department and how they should function and operationalize their initiatives. So we'll continue to use it, and then use it as a baseline, and test next year and the year after how we're doing against improvement.
Before you were elected in November, you and I talked about your plans to establish economic alliances with other nearby mayors. Have you made any progress on that?
You know, I'm blessed to have mayors around me who are great leaders and want to collaborate. So Mayors Fadness, Jensen, and Willis, also Mayor Stair in Zionsville, and I have a close working relationship, and I'm super appreciative of that. I think leading a city is different and unique, and I'm so grateful that I can, text or email or call any of them and, bounce an idea off of them. Mayors Fadness and Jensen in particular have been so open with, meet with my staff, ask me questions. We're an open book to help you. And again, I'm so grateful. It's been lovely, and I've taken them up on that heartily.
What's one thing from your first 6 months that you're particularly proud of, and what's one thing that came up during those first 6 months that you didn't expect?
I guess I'm just really proud of the way the community is weighing in, and they feel like this is a joint effort between the community and the mayor's office, and that is meaningful to me. I campaigned on a platform of community engagement. It was heard, and people are weighing in with ideas, suggestions, and an occasional add a girl here or there, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. I think what I'm surprised about is the number of young women, and I'm talking middle school age largely, who are super excited about having a female in this role. I didn't anticipate that. We've had 2 other female mayors prior to me, but just seeing how excited they are and they want to be engaged in civil leadership is important. I've recently started an initiative where I'm bringing 5th graders to deliver my report to City Council. And last night we had a young 5th grader from Collegewood Elementary, and she did a fantastic job. And you could just see her confidence build and her excitement at having that, even if it's only a 2 or 3 minute opportunity in front of the council to speak. It's super important. You never know where these types of things may lead, but I hope in 15 to 20 years, Carmel has managed to grow and release tons of civic leaders across the country because of little opportunities they got to engage with city government here, and that matters.
What does that do to you when you see young women, and particularly young girls, middle school age, what have you, already getting interested in civic life?
It excites me. It's fantastic, and we want to capitalize on that and find ways for them to grow in other ways, whether it be business leadership or arts. The sky is limitless there. So I feel like we need to pay attention to that and engage youth, young men and young women, as best we can to prepare them to lead in, whatever endeavors they choose. I think, if a mayor does their job right, they convene people around important topics and they promote the city. And we have to have the youth as one of our targeted demographics there if we're going to do this right.
Right now, what's the biggest thing on your to-do list?
The biggest thing on my to-do list right now is really to keep plugging down our list of 50 set of items. But I would say of that is financial transparency. We're getting ready to do a couple things. One, launch a transparency portal later in July, early August, hopefully. That right now I think it has 400,000 data points in it and $250 million each of revenue and expenses in it as we're looking at it today. We'll continue to add some things, and that'll be something we grow month after month. Paired with that is also then preparing for our 2025 budget planning process. We're changing the process from our directors just getting a X% of increase directive to zero-based budgeting. If you've got an important project or initiative, you have to justify it and we'll put it in the budget, but you're not just necessarily going to get 3% extra over the year before. Those things are really important in protecting the taxpayer, and I think those are top of pile for me.
Coming up, the dispute over plans for a soccer stadium in Indianapolis drawing the attention of the Attorney General. Welcome back. Attorney General Todd Rokita wading into the fight over a Major League Soccer stadium here in Indianapolis. In a memo to a state lawmaker, he says the city's decision to change the boundaries of a special tax district might violate the intent of state law. Garrett Bergquist explains.
Monday night's vote effectively reset the boundaries of a tax district to help pay for the stadium. One state senator tells me that's not what he voted for. Mayor Joe Hogsett has already ruled out any further development at the Diamond Chain Factory site, at least with public money. His administration told city county councilors if a stadium comes, it will be at the heliport site.
for me as a state legislator, and I don't speak for, my caucus or any of my other colleagues. When I saw what they're doing with the language from SB 7, to me, it did not coincide with what I thought the spirit of that bill was, not the spirit, but what the technical bearings of that bill. And that's why I asked the Attorney General to have that memorandum.
The memo from Attorney General Todd Rokita says, in his view, once the city approved the original tax district boundaries, they should have immediately gone to the State Budget Committee for final approval. Hogsett plans to send in only the new boundaries. His office tells me Rokita's opinion is an advisory opinion only and has no bearing on the city's next steps. In the meantime, the Metropolitan Development Commission still has to approve the tax district before it goes to the state. After that, it's up to the Hogsett administration to actually get an expansion team.
What was a little unexpected was the copious amounts of support that the club's name and branding would continue in some shape or form. This is what the battalion has been asking for from the beginning of this whole situation.
Zimba says the Brickyard Battalion has never favored one stadium site or another, but its members want the team's name, colors, and traditions to remain.
We have a known entity with a known location, with known ownership and investment group between Mr. Ozdemir and Mr. Sirach and the others who are involved in Indy 11. We know the location site. Everything is real. What we don't know right now is, what's the issues at the new stadium site? Are there issues at the new stadium site? Who are the new investors? Are there problems with the new investors?
Hogsett administration officials have said they will not bring forward any stadium plans unless and until the city is awarded an expansion team. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
All right, coming up, fights are brewing at both major parties' state conventions. Indiana's best political team stacks the odds. Next. Welcome back to All Indiana Politics as we welcome in two members of Indiana's best political team, Republican Mario Masalamani and Democrat Ariel Brandy. We'll begin this week by looking ahead to the state Republican Party convention. Todd Rokita, unopposed, as you know, Mario, for his bid for another term as Attorney General. But Micah Beckwith has been trying to gin up support for Lieutenant Governor for a year now. That puts him at odds with Mike Braun's pick, Julie McGuire. How do you see this playing out, Mario?
Well, what I can tell you is that both candidates are barnstorming the state of Indiana, meeting with as many delegates as they possibly can. Usually around this time, with about a week to go before the convention, you see a lot more negative being thrown out from either candidate. In this case, neither candidate has gone negative. They're only talking about their experience and why they're the best candidate for this position. Talking to Braun's team and Julie McGuire's team, they think that they've got the delegates necessary to win this. Speaking with Micah's camp, he thinks that he's got a puncher's chance. So delegates love being wined and dined. They love the fact that both camps are reaching out to them, asking for their opinion, talking to them, and giving them the necessary time that they deserve. And so it's going to be a really fun convention. It's going to be extremely interesting on Saturday as both camps get to put on not only speeches, but also somewhat of a video presentation. And that's always interesting at these conventions.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Ariel, we'll turn to you now. What will Democrats need to watch for in the lieutenant governor's race next week?
Yeah, I mean, we have an exciting race on our side, too. So I'm just, looking forward to what's going to come out of the lieutenant governor's pick for Jennifer McCormick, but also, too, like our AG race on the Democrat side. We have two phenomenal women that are running.
So I don't want to interrupt, but let's get into that because, we have the Democratic field for Attorney General, of course, now set, as you mentioned, Destiny Wells, Beth White, the only two candidates who filed. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's great. Two highly qualified women, one who's held elected office before and another one who's ran statewide and has gained great traction. Destiny Wells right now, I think, is sitting at the top when you're looking at how she just came out from running in 2022 and jumping back in to say, I'm on the ballot again, engaging areas of the state where we know she's been able to win. So like Mario said, the delegates love to be wine dined and treated as if they are, what they are, the electorate of the party when it comes comes to these races. So I'm excited to see how it shakes up and to see who comes out on top. Two great candidates that are going to be running on the Dem side. Really hoping that we get someone who can stand up against Todd Rokita and take back the AG's house.
To that point, Mario, which of those two candidates should Todd Rokita be worried about?
He's not worried about either one. I mean, to be honest with you, he's got over $1 million in the bank account. He's got a universal name ID. The key for Todd Rokita is to just stay the course and not say something too bombastic that isolates or segregates people from wanting to be voting for the Republican nominee. In Indiana, we are a red state, and so it's an uphill battle for Democrats. They've got to have almost a perfect storm to have an opportunity to win. When Destiny ran against Diego Morales, everyone said Destiny's got a chance, and I said she's got no chance. And that played out in that race, and it's going to be the same here. Todd just has to stay the course and not say something too bombastic that isolates people from wanting to come and vote for him. But he's got the money, he's got the name ID, he's got the organization, and Todd Rokita will be the next Attorney General and win re-election.
Well, let's talk about something he has been weighing in on. That's the soccer stadium situation. Ariel, what do you make of Rokita's memo on whether the latest stadium plan matches the intent of state law?
I mean, it's just another example of Todd Rokita putting his nose somewhere where it doesn't belong. And right now it's with the local politics and things that are not within his jurisdiction. I mean, yeah, he makes a name for himself, but not in a way in which is positive, in which he is actually representing what he needs to when it comes to being the Attorney General. This is just another case and such.
Mario, the lawmaker who actually wrote the bill, says he did not have any particular location in mind. Given that, what are the chances that we see lawsuits over this, and what role might Rokita's memo play in them?
This is a real black stain for the state of Indiana, the way this is being played out, because everyone wants an MLS team. My kids play travel soccer. We are huge soccer fans. We want an MLS team. Both sides need to figure this out, because the MLS will not give us a team if there is this much dispute and this much acrimony, because the MLS wants to bring in a team and publicize it in a way that it's positive and generate a lot of viewership and attendance. And the way that these two sides are going right now, that's not going to happen. And so both sides need to find a compromise and come together to make sure that this is a successful bid for us to be able to get an MLS team. And litigation does not get us an MLS team. No. Going to the media and attacking each side does not get us an MLS team. And so they need to come together. They need to figure out their differences, and we need to present a bid to the MLS that gets accepted.
It's like a microcosm of politics, actually, right? Caught in the middle, us, the citizens and the fan base, right?
Fans,
it's unbelievable.
Everyone the largest growing youth sport is soccer.
Yeah,
if you look around the state of Indiana, soccer is probably one of the biggest sports. Indy 11 has done so well because soccer is so popular. The World Cup is coming, and people in Indiana are excited for that.
Yeah,
and so we need to be able to do a good job to get an MLS team, and right now we're not doing that.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, fingers crossed on that. Let's turn to national politics now. President Joe Biden has announced new restrictions on asylum claims at the border. Ariel, were you surprised by this move? And does this potentially threaten Biden's support among the party's progressive wing?
I was pretty shocked by this. I thought that we were making some good traction and, hopefully getting our president to understand, the push around immigration reform, but not in a way in which it was so restrictive. I do see this being an issue for the progressive arm. We've seen so many of these issues specifically around immigration, foreign policy, that he just can't seem to get right. So, it'll be interesting to see how this shapes up as we're going into the general. But there are some other great things that President Biden has done that I think will be able to counter. But I don't think that I would be remiss to say that, this is an issue that people are paying attention to, especially if we're looking at, America being a country where everyone is supposed to be welcome and supposed to be able to live up to that American dream. I don't
Mario,
think
from your perspective, are you concerned as the conservative on this panel that this vote could pull away from potential Trump voters?
Not at all. Too little, too late. 3.5 years later, he's now coming 5 months before an election to come out with an immigration policy. Way too little, too late. This is Hoosiers and voters are not stupid enough to believe that Joe Biden actually cares about our southern border. We have seen the failure of this administration in allowing for criminals and drugs to come into our borders and to impact and destroy our communities, including our families, with the fentanyl crisis, with cartel drugs and guns. And weapons coming in here. So way too little, too late.
All right,
He's just
we'll see how it plays out. We got to wrap you up. We're running out of time. Good to see you both. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time. We'll be right back. Joining us for All Indiana Politics this week. We'll be back here, of course, next Sunday morning, as always, at 9:30. And be sure to tune in at 11 o'clock for The Hill Sunday with Chris Steyerwalt. Have a great rest of your weekend.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Watch All Indiana Politics live Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Wish TV and at wishtv.com. Subscribe to this podcast and listen weekly here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.